If they say something in their room, they talk about the boogeyman, please go check. It just might be something in that room. They're not lying about. It might not be what they say, but it's something in that room. You need to check.
Hi everyone, it's Jeremy Indika and I'm back for another reaction/review video because I've actually seen this one before. It just hit me so hard that I want to go over it again. It's from a YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly, and it's a guy who just interviews people and allows them to tell their story, and this one is hard hitting. So let's get straight into it.
All right, Tyrone. Where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago. And tell me about your family. You had both your parents when you were a kid?
Well, I was with my parents, but Pops was never around. He was an alcoholic, workaholic. Mom's was just kind of quiet. You know what I'm saying? Quiet and just seemed like she was lost, because I was lost. They used to always take me over to Grandma's house. I used to go over to Grandma's house when I was a kid, 5, 6 years old. And I stayed with Grandma all the time. There wasn't no TV in our house. You know what I'm saying? And this man used to always come over there. See, my mother is my father's second wife. See, when my father, when I got older and I was looking at the birth certificate, Daddy was like 45, Mama was 21. So Daddy had kids before from his first wife. So that's gonna end up in my story because, you know, I'm gonna tell you the boogeyman really exists. Now this man, I was over at Grandma's house, this guy used to always come in and beat Grandma up. Grandma used to always have black eyes. And then I used to try to save Grandma, and he used to beat me up and throw me in the next room, and he did whatever he did with Grandma, I just hear her screaming. But then he was come over there with me and do things to me. And this went on for a while, now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And nobody never said nothing. I want to know, did Daddy know? Mama wasn't gonna say nothing, Mama was quiet anyway. But I wonder, you know, did Daddy ever know me? Because Daddy, he used to always come get me from Grandma. I used to go over there every day. But you would take me back every day. Because Daddy had worked and Mama did whatever she did at home, if she stayed home. And the things he was kept doing these things to me, and I kind of seemed like it was kind of normal. I was kind of, you know, like I can like looking forward to things like that.
Sexual things.
Sexual things, you know? But see, I was a kid, I didn't know.
Started at 5 years old?
You know what I'm saying? 5 years old. And it's like, fondling me, playing, doing things, and it's time like that, I wanted that type of attention from a man. And I'm not saying I just wanted that attention from, you know, when I was a kid, it just seemed like it was the thing to do, to have a strong hand around me or touching me. And I didn't know, and
I'm going to try my hardest not to stop this too many times, right? I'm going to try my hardest and let this man speak. But I just want to quickly say how important this story is, because actually what he's saying, what he's explaining is that is one of the things I feel it's very difficult for us to get our head around, which is that the child is so young, the child is so still so underdeveloped that they start to think that this is kind of what they want in a way. They start to believe, or their mind starts to go towards thinking that actually, this is very comforting for me. This is very nice for me. I have no reason to think it's a bad thing. And actually, I'm going to move towards it. This is really, really complex. His story is explaining this very, very well.
And I would always wonder, and as time went by, this man kept showing up. You know what I'm saying? I was getting, and he was coming over to the house, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? And he would stay over at the house. I'm like, what is this man? You know, they was all, but nobody said nothing. I never said nothing because I was too scared to say something, but I enjoyed him being around. You know, and he would eat, you know, he would stay over, but he would come in my room. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, late night. You know, and sometimes I come in the room, he'd be sitting at my, you know, playing with my games and tell me to come over. In my room, and I sit right next to him. It seemed like nobody didn't know nothing, or nobody didn't care. I don't know. I was a kid. But I believed at that time everything was all right. It was the thing to do. You know? And you know how they say the boogeyman? It was under your bed and then in the closet when you was a kid. That's all we had was the boogeyman to be scared of. You know what I'm saying? So when I would come in the room, I kept coming in the room. So as time, the lights was always off, but it was only a little corner with a light in it with my game. And when I come in, I just go straight over there. Yeah, if he went at work, he was drunk somewhere. The day was a workaholic, alcoholic. And Mama didn't say nothing anyway, so. You know, back in the day, a woman stayed in her place. You don't say nothing. A man paid the cost to be the boss. That's how I was when I grew up. The kids is not to say a word, seen but not spoken. And that's how it was. You know, as time went by, it's just, whatever happened, it was supposed to be normal. But was I normal or was I abnormal? Was I insane? Was I, sane? I don't know. I was so confused. And this man just kept on being around. You know what I'm saying? And he was about as old as Mama. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna keep going. He was old as Mama and nobody said nothing to him because he was always around. I'm like, but every day when Daddy did go to work, they would take me to Grandma's house and he ended up coming over to Grandma's house. Grandma even knew him and would let him in. I'm like, man, what's wrong? What's happening, man? I'm just confused about this man because everybody seems like it's all right with him, so I'm trying to be all right with him. But the things he's doing to me, I guess it's all right because ain't nobody else said nothing. Ain't nobody said a word. So he would sit at the table, he would.
Children are so vulnerable. They're so vulnerable because they don't understand the world enough to understand whether they're in a bad situation that they need to get out of. He just thought because everyone else trusted him and thought he was a good man that he should think as a child that he was a good man as well and everything that's going on between them is okay.
He would do everything like he was part of the family. And as time went by, he was part of the family.
part of the family.
He was my half brother from my father's first wife. And I never knew this. He, like I said, he was just as old as my mama. My pops left his first wife and ended up meeting my mama.
People think that sexual abuse with children within the family, like he's just explained, that is his father's son from another marriage who's abusing him, and people think that within the family is just some kind of thing that you hear on the news. It happens so much.
Like I said, he was about 45, somewhere. Mama was 21. So when I looked at my birth certificate, when I was a kid growing up, I said, damn, I saw how big difference it was. And as time went by, and when I got older, I'm like, and I found out that was his first son. He's a junior. Cause I wanted to realize why I wasn't a junior. I wanted to be like my daddy. I wanted to be a workaholic. My pops, rest in peace, stayed on his job for 47 years, same job. I could never do that. I could never do that. I want to be just like him. But my papa used to always say, well, you ain't your daddy. But daddy was strong. And I ain't had nobody to look up to. But this man who always gave me some attention. And Grandma was strong. Grandma did the best she could. She did the best she could. And you know what? Where I was raised, family and friends is very important to have in life. I mean, real friends. You got to have them in life. They mean something. You know, they help you. They don't use you. You can go to them anytime you want to go to them. Nobody never look at you wrong. They always try to help you. They always feed you. Always. Family. Family is very important to have, man. And friends that you grew up with from a kid on is family. You call his mama. That's how we were. But I had other things happening in my life when I was a kid. I ain't tell nobody. And as time went by, man, I had to learn how to adapt. I had to learn how to survive, you know? But right now, I'm just existing. I'm not living. I got a lot of shit inside me, man. And there's a difference between existing and living. Because when you're existing, you're just here. When you're living, you're enjoying life, man. You're enjoying life. And it's a big difference, man. It's a big difference, man. When I got older and realized who this man really was, man, you know, he was too old for me to even try to do anything to. And I wonder at that time why Daddy and his brothers didn't do nothing to him. Because I had uncles. But they were too slick and cool. They ran the streets. You know what I'm saying? They called my old man, rest in peace, his nickname was Hot. His brother's name was Johnny Cool. So man, they were some cool cats. But they had their own thing going on. And it wasn't me. But yeah, like I say, man, by the time I realized who this cat was, He was part of my family.
So how has this affected your later life?
Scared to get close to kids. You know what I'm saying? I have kids of my own, but we so departed that, I get scared to come around. I got some beautiful daughters. But when I look at them like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. My sons, but when I look at them, I don't know. I'm not trying to go there. I don't even try to put myself in that predicament, I don't know because I didn't have the help that I really.
It's scared him so much, hasn't it? He's scared that he may be like the man that did this to him. He's just what happened to him as a child has littered his whole life.
I don't know because I didn't have the help that I really needed mentally. I don't know what type of help you probably need, psychiatrists, I don't know. I ain't had no help mentally. Pills won't do it. I don't know. I'm 54 years old. I don't know. And I'm not ashamed to tell you I don't know. I'm still be trying to have some type of guidance somewhere, man. I'm still trying to keep an open mind to get guided. Because I know it ain't over, but I don't know I don't know. I don't want. Man, I'm tired of existing. I want to start living. And when you've been existing so many years, it's normal. Now it's hard I got to recondition myself. And that's an action word. Now I got to try to start living. Man, I got so many years in existing, it's gonna be hard to start living. Because I don't know how to live. So, I'm just gonna say, I wish they would have listened to me when I said, it's the boogeyman in my room. And they just thought I was joking. You know what I'm saying? Because, wow, boy. They didn't understand me, what I was saying. Because when I was a kid, that's all it was the boogeyman you had to be scared of. So they thought I was just scared to go in the dark, be in the dark room, in my room by myself. But they realized I wasn't by myself. I don't want to drag along with my story, man. I just had to tell y'all what's kind of a little happening with me. So, mother, father.
Have you talked about this before?
Pardon me?
Have you talked about this with anyone before?
No.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I might, I don't talk about my issues with nobody because they label you, man.
You can't out here.
They label you. They put a label on you. And then he gonna tell him because they want to be better than you. They want to feel better than you. So if I tell you something about me to help you feel better about yourself, to down me, when I'm out there, man, I don't have, whatever you do, I ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't gonna help me, it ain't gonna hurt me. It definitely ain't finna get me off these streets. And it ain't gonna help the situation that I'm going through, because I go through things too. So why should I take on what you going through Because I can't carry what I got. So how in the hell I'm going to carry what you got? So I don't care what you do out there. Because it ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing. You know? Like I said, man, mother, father, sister, brother, auntie. If you got a niece, nephew, kid, son, whatever, daughter, if they say something in their room, they talk about the boogeyman, please go check.
Real talk. That's real talk. I'm not saying necessarily if a child says there's a boogeyman in his or her room. I'm just saying if anything gets said that is just slightly unusual, you've got to act on it. You've got to ask more questions. You've got to do something. If a child says anything unusual, you've got to constantly have your eyes and your ears open, scanning for anything that is unusual. 24/7.
It just might be something in that room. They're not lying about. It might not be what they say, but it's something in that room. You need to check. So, I appreciate y'all. I don't mean no disrespect, no harm to y'all. Thank you.
All right, Tyrone. Thank you very much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. For me, you see how emotional his memories are. It's pure pain. It's pure discomfort. It's pure sadness and grief when he explains what happened to him in his childhood. I mean, he can hardly get his words out. He's crying so hard at times. It's so emotional. There's so much I want to say about that video and that story. Maybe we start it with the fact that he told it so well. He explained it so well with so much strength. To think that that's his first time ever telling a story is really shows a lot of courage, strength, and it's powerful, I think. It's a really good story to show us all and remind us all how much effect sexual abuse has on a life. It's not just a section of somebody's past that lives in isolation. It happens, and then the ripple effect as the life goes on is continuous. It's never ending. And we can see that here. It's why we have to do everything that we can to prevent this from going on. There's so many lessons in there for anybody that has children themselves or works with children or their job involves working with children. Because as a child, you can't articulate what's going on. Often, as this man says, Tyrone says, he started to think that it was normal. He did believe that it was normal. The guy who was 21, what he was doing to him became normal, started feeling like it was normal with also with everybody around the family trusting this man, respecting this man, inviting this man into the home. He thought, oh, well, this man is obviously a trusted man. That's how kids work, right? They see you trusting somebody, or they say you interacting with somebody, and that is their signal to know that that person is trustworthy. But also very bravely, he explains that actually he kind of liked it. It was comforting. It was somebody putting their arm around his, what's the saying? Putting his arm around his shoulder. Sorry, I don't know if I've got that wrong or not. But it was support for him. It's so difficult to get your head around that would be support, because the way we think about child sexual abuse all the time is a big, scary, creepy predator and a scared and a frightened child. It's not always that. In fact, maybe it's hardly ever that. The grooming process isn't an attack. The grooming process is a gradual manipulation of the child to get them thinking the way you want them to think. And it was done here very successfully. Successfully is the wrong word. It was done here, and this man that was doing it to Tyrone got what he wanted. When he explained about how now, when he came to realise who this guy was, and nobody supported him because his uncles and his dad and that were, their mind was somewhere else, and he had nobody to support him or go after this man, and now look, how old did he say he was? 40 or 50? It hurts him so much. The memories hurt him so much. He can never undo that. And he was talking about being open to guidance. He wants guidance. He doesn't want to exist anymore. He wants to live. He's desperate. He's desperate for guidance. And I don't think there's enough guidance out there. It's all about catching paedophiles and locking them up. There's no material out there to help people who are struggling with the memories. There's not enough material out there. Sorry, that's what I should say. There's not enough material out there. Different types of material, approaching it from different angles, using different language, using different approaches, different vibes. There just needs to be endless amounts of this. Because there's endless amounts of survivors. And there are endless amounts of children who are being abused now. It's going on generation to generation. Okay, that will do us, I think. That will do us.